You back to a Monday edition of BYU Sports Nation in Studio B, and are pleased to bring on our next guest. She is a very accomplished, albeit legendary coach for BYU women's soccer. Jen Rockwood with us on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Jen, welcome back to the show.
Hey, thanks, guys. It's been a while.
It has been a while, and I wish that we were talking about BYU playing actual soccer, but here we are in a very tough situation. So let's start with this, Coach. How have you handled the last 72 hours or so since finding out that the West Coast Conference season was officially shut down for women's soccer?
Well, it's something that we figured might be happening, obviously, as soon as the Pac-12 and some of the other big conferences went down. We'd been hopeful all summer that maybe things could be sorted out. But with having 7 teams in California right now in our conference, we just understanding the situation there, we knew that it was probably a good chance that we wouldn't be playing this fall. But yeah, when it finally hit, it was hard, and you just feel really bad for all these student athletes that have prepared. And we had so much anticipation and excitement looking forward to this new season with a new group of girls and a lot of expectations. So we'll just have to put that on hold for a little while.
At what point did you think this was a possibility?
It's probably about a month ago. Things just weren't moving in the right direction. We were really hopeful at the start of the summer, and even like I said, within the last month, in conversations with a lot of coaches around the country, we really thought that it might happen, even though it was going to be delayed. And we found out that our season was pushed back to the September 24th, and that was kind of a big hit when we heard that. But we're ready to move forward. I had to scramble to try and fix the schedule a little bit. We had a really great schedule this fall, and we tweaked it a little bit, dealing with that first start date, and then it kind of got changed again. And so now we're just going to have to wait. And there's just a lot of unknowns, but we've had a lot of unknowns for the last 6 months. So we'll just keep plugging forward and get better for when that opportunity comes for us to compete again.
Coach, if a team, and I know this is a huge if, but a team in a conference that is still playing sought out BYU, are you at liberty to take on that game or even an exhibition, or is this a conference-wide, like, we're in this together, we are not going to play at all this fall?
Yeah, my understanding is that we won't be able to play or compete this fall. I think our numbers right now for women's soccer as well as volleyball are upwards of 65 to 70% of the teams and programs across the country have now pushed back till hopefully spring. And so there are a few teams that are still trying to get the season in, but we also know there won't be an NCAA tournament this year without the 50% participation. We're hoping the NCAA might deal with that in the spring. But again, just a lot of unknowns out of our control. All we can do is get ready and prepare and get as good as we can be for when that time comes.
How did your team take the news?
It's hard, especially hard for our seniors who, we had such a great year last year, one of our best seasons we've ever had. And again, there's a lot of anticipation. We graduated a lot of great seniors, but we had a lot of great depth returning. And a really great group of young players that were kind of ready to fill in those slots for us. Some transfers that we're looking forward to stepping on the field in a BYU jersey. And, so a lot of disappointment. But again, we've tried to prep them throughout the last month or so, knowing that was a possibility. So when it really was shut down, I think we weren't really surprised. We kind of knew it was coming.
Will you be surprised if the NCAA doesn't allow eligibility for seniors that want to return?
I think their eligibility will be intact. I think it'll be similar to what they did in the spring. I don't think anybody will lose any eligibility because we haven't started, and there's so many teams in this situation right now. I think seniors will have a choice to move on or come back. I know our seniors are committed and really want that senior experience, especially after coming off of last year and what our seniors were able to do. So again, we'll just see. Time will tell. And I'm just excited to get back on the field. Today will be our first day of training since February 20th. So that'll be fun to see the girls again.
Jen Rockwood with us on BYU Sports Nation. So practice today. You don't know when you're going to play another game. Annually, you have a spring schedule built in. So is it that far of a reach to say that there could be an official season in the spring if you just ramp up your usual spring schedule?
I think there could be. I think that's what a lot of teams are hoping for, especially, like I said, a couple months ago, seeing the possibility of maybe moving to the spring. But I know the NCAA, they've got, I think, 32 or something championships in the spring and 22 in the fall. And I know moving all of those championships to the spring might be a little challenging. And so again, we don't know what's going to happen or how it would look, whether it would just maybe be the conference. But our hope is that we get a few scrimmages in maybe this fall. And then if we don't get a season in the spring, we do have that opportunity to play a bunch of games in preparation for 2021.
Non-football men's basketball don't make money typically, but the championships do they not? So I feel like the NCAA would actually be in on that if they can make money off that, and it seems like they could, albeit, like you said, it would be a loaded spring. But I'm envisioning quadruple headers on BYU TV in the spring. I love this idea, Jen.
Yeah, I mean, let's do it. The NCAA has to make those decisions. I know here at BYU, everyone's in support of us playing and competing, and they have all the protocols in place for that to happen. We know that football most likely is going to happen. We're really excited for that. I know our university needs that, and we're hopeful that that can get going and maybe, see how you have to deal with all of these unknowns and at least getting out there and trying to compete and trying to travel, see how that looks for, the other sports coming up in the winter. And then, we've got to get going again. We've got to get things open and moving and see how we're going to deal with all of the situations that we're in.
Coach, how does the impact of a postponed season affect recruiting and player development?
It's a good question. It's so new. They pushed the NCAA recruiting dead period back another month. So I haven't watched any potential recruits again since about February. Most of the tournaments, were all shut down over the summer. And now we can't go out and watch. So, everything's just a bit on hold. I know that's really hard and challenging for a lot of these younger players who, worked hard and in the process of making some decisions and recruiting. We're fortunate we were ahead, I think, in the recruiting process. And so we were already very familiar with a lot of freshmen and sophomore players out there. So I think we're set. We're moving forward. We've got a great class coming in 2021 and already have a very, very competitive group coming in 2022. And then we'll be looking to finish off that class here pretty soon.
Jen, when's the last time you weren't involved in soccer for 5 or 6 months like this?
I can't ever remember a time, probably maybe 7 or 8 years old when I started playing soccer. And I started coaching soccer and doing camps, when I was about 14, 15 years old. So it's been quite a different experience for me and for our staff and for everybody involved in athletics across the country. It's been quite a challenge to stay motivated and try and stay in touch with your players. And again, just really looking forward to seeing the girls again. It's been a long time and they always give me a lot of energy. So I'm ready to feel their energy and their good vibes.
You've gone 25 years plus, which is incredible. You're the only coach BYU's ever had. You going for 5 or 10 more?
Well, we'll see about that. I've got a nice little break that I've always wanted, I guess.
A sabbatical, if you will. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely a sabbatical. So hopefully I'm rejuvenated and I feel rested and ready to go and anxious and excited. So yeah, let's go.
Well, that's the best news I've heard all day.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes. Please don't leave us. Also, hopefully we can energize you as well from Studio B with some BYU Sports Nation karma. So take that for what you will.
Thank you. I'll take all the karma I can get, but your guys is especially good. So thanks.
Coach, enjoy practice today, and our fingers crossed that things can get back to normal as soon as possible so that we can enjoy an incredible BYU women's soccer program that you've put together.
Well, thanks. We've got a great group of players, and they're ready to roll. So looking forward to the future.
All right, Coach. Thank you so much.